So imagine you're home for Thanksgiving and your son brings home a buddy from the dorms for dinner. His friend is real excitable, telling you about a class he took on American imperialism that totally blew his mind. He's so up. You wonder if he got into your medicine cabinet.
There's going to be massive migration of tens or hundreds of millions of people from countries that are literally uninhabitable or underwater, that are above the sea right now. This is our final chance. The scientists are absolutely unanimous on this, that we have no more than 12 years to take incredibly bold action on this crisis.
He's like a 6-year-old who just snorted a line of Pop Rocks. I haven't seen that much hand movement since All That Jazz. With that gesturing, who does he remind you of? Yeah. Even the president noticed.
I think he's got a lot of hand movement. I've never seen so much hand movement. I said, is he crazy or is that just the way he acts? So I've never seen hand movement. I watched him a little while this morning doing, I assume it was some kind of a news conference, and I've actually never seen anything quite like it. Study it. I'm sure you'll agree.
Study it. I'm sure you'll agree. You got to hand it to him. He says what you're thinking, and I do feel a nickname coming. So Beto announced he's running, this coinciding with a drooling Vanity Fair cover story, written by the same suckle bucket who fell for John Edwards. And again, the writer is so smitten he can't even see straight. The prose isn't just purple, it's puce. Throbbing with fawning reverence, it's what normal people reserve for Valentine's. But here it's just more journo crap for some guy who Instagrams his dental visits. The media's big narrative, Beto's David to Trump's Goliath. But anyone who's been alive for more than 2 seasons of 60 Minutes knows that the giant has always been the media. And David has been anyone who doesn't fall in line. Fox News has been David for 20 years. So you can't say that Beto is David when he has a full force of the Goliath behind him. And you can't blame Beto either. It's not his fault Vanity Fair has made him their man crush. Beto is a young white male embraced by a left-wing rag who's hoping to sell perfume ads to cover the stench of their bad writing. Beto claims, I'm just born to do this. Well, how's that for white privilege? All right, Juan, I think that's racist, what he said. I wanted to beat you to the punch. He says he's born to do that. Isn't that because he's a white male? Well, you've got to be upset that he's getting all this attention, right?
No, why?
I don't know.
But tell me why you think that way.
Because there are all these other credible candidates out there. I mean, Kamala didn't get this rollout.
Oh, I think Kamala gets a lot of attention.
Really?
Yeah, but I think... Kamala, I should say. But anyway, I think that, in fact, the excitement around him is a lot like Obama's first campaign.
Fair enough, yeah.
People see him as this kind of exciting, new, hope and change candidate, and at a time when the country's polarized and we want to choke each other, they say, hey, bring this guy on. Now, President Trump talking about hands, why did he do that? I mean,
I felt the same way.
No,
everybody saw it.
You had a legitimate point. But Trump, given what people said about his hands, I just think he should have stayed away from the topic.
It's going to be all about hands from here on in, Kennedy.
Yes, it's interesting because I look at all the candidates, and I look at even the candidates, the Republican candidates from 2016, and with each of them, they inhabit a certain space. And even if you don't agree with them, you understand what the appeal is. And I understand the appeal of Bernie. I've always understood the Bernie appeal. I agree with him on almost nothing. Maybe the surveillance state and possibly criminal justice. Not only do I not understand the appeal of Beto O'Rourke, as an independent voter, I am so willing to hear anyone's pitch on how you can make my life better. I am all for it. He doesn't have any specifics at all. And Liz Warren, even though she's got god-awful ideas, at least she's brave enough to put some policy positions out there so people can pick them apart. He gives us nothing. He just gives us these blanket phrases that are dripping with beta sweetness that deliver nothing. I mean, he's talking about, oh, we're at a crossroads and this is a crisis and I'm born to do this. It's like, to do what? What exactly are you proposing?
To talk with his hands.
Yes.
Well, I was going to jump in real quick and say, but I think, Kennedy, we do have an idea of what he stands for.
What
he's a
does
guy,
he stand for? He's
like,
going to
like
rip walls down with his bare hands? That doesn't make any sense. He's not going to do that.
I like the optimism, as I said, but I think he says yes to the climate change deal, go back into
then
it.
Anthony Robbins should be the next president.
Okay,
if
he says let's ban assault weapons. He's all for abortion. He's all for government health care.
He's all for abortion.
He's all for
That's not
NAFTA.
good.
He says NAFTA should be
horrible.
I mean, so I don't think it's fair to say that he has no position.
All right.
But the problem is, even if you look at things like, so he says he supports the climate change, the Green Deal, right? But you look at the fact that during the 2018 election, he received more money from the fossil fuel industry than any other candidate besides Senator Ted Cruz. He was also talking about exporting natural gas to other countries, which runs contradictory with what the Green New Deal wants and stands for. And the problem is you didn't hear much about that because he was protected and insulated from the media and the left because he ran against Ted Cruz, which the bulk of the media and also people on the left despise. He's like the #1 enemy besides President Trump. So he was protected by them. Part of that protection and attention also led to, mass amounts of money that he was able to raise, $80-something million more than any other candidate. But he's not going to have that in a crowded primary field because he's not going to be the only person on the left that's the recipient of the media's adoration, as we've seen with people like Kamala Harris as well. And I don't know how he stands out in a crowded primary field. Like, what distinguishes him besides the fact he can skateboard?
I think
seriously.
You can't really know. He's a kook. That's what you call someone who claims to have mastered a board sport, who doesn't know what they're doing, who has no physical aptitude. He's a kook.
Jesse, I think John Hickenlooper is more Beto O'Rourke than Beto O'Rourke is. And I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what that means.
Have you thought of nicknames yet?
For Beto?
Yeah.
You had a good one the other day, which was kind of inappropriate.
Maestro, because he's like a conductor, Maestro Beto?
I was thinking about the other one.
Oh,
I wanted you to repeat and get in trouble for. No, he does look like a frantic sign language interpreter at a press conference warning about an impending blizzard. You know those crazy people? But it's mesmerizing, and you can't stop looking at it. And in a strange way, he's likable, although weird. He married an heiress.
Yes.
He has a sweating problem. He overshares. He speaks in platitudes like an empty vessel, but at the same time, you understand why people like him, because he's young, he can raise a lot of money, he's got charisma with the kids. Now, the media likes him because the media wants to be him. If you think about his profile, he went to Columbia, he likes coffee shops, he feels more comfortable there than at a tailgate, he listens to podcasts, he obviously is a huge poetry guy, so that's something they aspire to. Right, and then when they write about him, well, for the media.
He is the media.
When they write about him, this is how they write, Greg. They say, the Texas wind hit his hair as he leaned into the food truck and ordered a burrito to give to the homeless veteran playing a broken guitar. It's like they sensationalize the most trivial things about him, like he's Jesus.
But Kennedy has the best nickname.
I want to get to Chris Matthews, who basically, he's no conservative, saying pretty much the same thing that you're saying about this recent Vanity Fair.
By the way, bring back that cover a bit. That cover is the best kiss I've seen for a candidate in a long time. I always say the candidate wins who's got the sun in his face, who looks like sunny, optimistic, not the indoor bureaucrat sitting at some desk somewhere. That's the image you want.
But it's not the sun in his face. It's the media, kissing his butt. It's the sun. It's not about the sun.
Well, wait a second.
No,
He's the outsider. He's the outsider in the Trumpian style, right?
Okay.
He's not a senator. He's not a mayor. He's not a
let me give
governor.
Kennedy a compliment, because you said this on Outnumbered the other day. His nickname should be Beta.
Yeah, Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah. Hey, she said it here on the 5 first. That's
right.
She said it on the 5.
I think that's actually, because he does come across as weak.
Yeah.
And if he runs in a general election against President Trump, who projects strength, I don't think that's going to work for him.
Oh, yeah? How come he got so much reaction, Lisa? So much reaction from the president,
because
so
for
much
people
reaction
like you,
from
Juan,
everybody.
But the reaction is funny. I mean, you cannot deny the hand movement. By the way, I got to get a hat tip to Red Steez for the inflatable man comparison, because that was like, that's perfect. It's either that he's a cross between the inflatable man and Slender Man. I'm not sure what it is.
He's not the transformational figure that Barack Obama was. I'm sorry.
No,
Barack Obama also didn't have a super crowded primary field either.
That's true.
No, all I had to do was elbow Hillary out of the way.
Barack Obama wasn't a favorite.
Oh, yeah, he was. Huffington Post got right behind him.
It does a big disservice to Barack Obama to compare Beto to him.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think people also say John F. Kennedy. So you guys should get ready.
Ron, you have a big estimation of Beto.
All right, we got to move on.